Welcome to Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show, live show to be specific. About to get into Cavs and Pacers. Going to be looking at some insights for this stuff. I mean, I'm going to just call it out right now. This is not going to be a show where I'm just going to be slanging bets for Cavs Pacers for today's game just yet. A couple of reasons. One, I don't really have much yet to go on that. So I need to look at this stuff with y'all. So this is going to be a lot of research for what we're looking for. But I like the questions that you guys are bringing in the chat already, because that's what I'm looking for is like, what are we looking for? What do we like in general for this series? What can we like look at angle wise, maybe matchup wise, etc. That's going to help us get there with it. So we got to go back and look at some games that these teams played in the regular season. We got to go back and look at a few of the like who was missing, who wasn't, how they performed, how they matched up. That's the kind of stuff I want to look at here. So we're going to take a while to do that. And then at the end, probably try to get into some of the Rockets and Dubs look as well, because that game's going to come on later tonight. So we got a little bit more time for that one anyway. Plus, this is about Cavs Pacers. So we're going to get into that. And then I'll throw some stuff out there for the other game as well with y'all. But let's get into Cavs Pacers first. I'm going to start sharing my screen, and we can just start getting into it. And I'm going to bring up Props Madness for sure, but then I'm going to be bringing up some NBA.com stuff and looking at how these teams played together so far. So let me go ahead and share this and get right to, I think I'm going to start with NBA.com, but we'll get everything up on here. So bear with me for 1 sec. I'm going to switch over. Let's get to that. Let's get right here. And then let's go. I'll start with some Props Madness. Throw it up here, and then let's look at some of the stuff for the series prices and all that. Let's get some NBA.com going so that we can look at some of the past matchups. Just off bat, one thing I'm going to do here is go to I'm just going to go StatMuse. I just want to bring up Cavs versus Pacers this season. Let's see what we got here. We got 4 games. Looks like Cavs lost 3 times to the Pacers. Pacers won 3 of the 4 matchups this season. Let's see how many games Donnie played head-to-head and stuff like that. So Donnie missed 2 of the games that they played. That's going to come into play big time. Who else? Let's see if Evan Mobley played head-to-head. He got in there for 2 games. So it looks like a lot of dudes missed a couple games for this squad. Head-to-head for Darius. He missed 2 games. Am I crazy? Did they like... Yeah, I guess at the end of the season, it was when they would just kind of stop trying, right? So they played January. They missed the 2 games that we see here in where we at? We got April, and they missed both those games, lost both those games. So they split when those 2 dudes were playing, when everybody was playing. Let me see about Jarrett Allen to head-to-head. He played all 4. So like Mobley missed a bunch, Garland missed 2, and Donnie missed 2. So all 3 of those guys missed 2 games. And then I'm sure like DeAndre Hunter played at the end of the season. By the time he got to the squad, he played in February. Actually, this was still him on the Hawks. So he's played them twice, once on the Cavs. He missed a game too in April. So they just sat everybody at the end. Looks like in this one, they probably didn't play. This was like a Ty Jerome game. So let's see. I'm just seeing who was in for the Cavs in this one. Yeah, so we had a Naquan Tomlin sighting for the Cavs. Jalen Tyson. Yeah, so everybody. Allen. That's right. Allen played the 1 minute so that he could get the all 82 games played on his record for this season. So let's see which ones do we actually believe that we can go into and see like everybody playing in it. So Jan 12th. Was a 15-point loss. January 14th was a 10-point win for the Cavs. And then I'm looking at who played for the Pacers real quick, too. Let me pull up Pascal head-to-head. He played 3 of the 4, so everybody kind of sat at the end on April 13. And then Hallie played 2 of the 4. Miles missed probably a bunch. He played all 4. All right, cool. And then Nemhard probably played all 4 because they don't really take him out. Yeah. So it was mostly like Hallie and Pascal that missed a couple games. So let's just look at the game here on Jan 12th and Jan 14th. That's going to help us more than anything to see who was guarding who as just really like a starting point in this one. So I'm going to go back to January and look at January 12th. I'm going to pull this box score up. Where are they at? Right down here. Let me open that in a new tab. And then I'm going to get 14th up as well. Let's start with the 12th game. And we know DeAndre Hunter wasn't playing for the Cavs in this one. No big trades for the Pacers. But I'm just going right to matchups. I'm just going to go right to the minutes and see who was guarding whom the most and what was like something we can bank on. So Allen's on Turner. I believe Free Sauce is in here talking about some stuff for maybe under Allen. Let me know if I'm wrong on that, my G, because I know you were talking about that in the VIP chat. So it'd be good to know if that's what you were thinking about as well. I see these questions, by the way. We're going to get to these. So I appreciate you guys putting this in there. And I just want to go through some stuff myself, like I said, and then we get there. But like, I'm liking this stuff. Like, I want to see where y'all are at with, let's see, Hunter. Like, this is like, I love all these looks. Let me know a little bit about why y'all think this stuff too, because once I get into this with you guys in a minute, then that'll be really helpful. So it looks like Allen and Turner, they just are on each other. We had Evan Mobley and Thomas Bryant. So Thomas Bryant got hella minutes in this one. Wait just a second. Why was Thomas Bryant playing so much? Let me go back into this. Who got minutes here? So they started Benny Mathurin because Nesmith wasn't available. So Nesmith missed this game. But then we saw 20 minutes of Thomas Bryant. That ain't going to be the case in this next game. I promise you that. We're not going to be seeing 20 minutes of Thomas Bryant if we see much of him at all, which we might see a little bit more because they got to take on a different squad here. But in this one, Dean Wade was starting because Strus did not start. Interesting. So they liked Dean Wade starting maybe for whatever reason. I would have to look at way more deeply into that. But yeah, this was a Strus not starting game, and Karis LeVert was still on the squad. So we're going to see Strus in the starting lineup. That'll be different. But let's just go back to, this is the 14th game. I kind of trust this game a little bit more. They're both not, honestly, they're not, either of them might not be the best in terms of helping us see who's going to play who in terms of the matchups. But let me just try to go back to the matchups. This is the January 12th game right quick. So back to what I was just looking at. This had some Thomas Bryant in it. I don't think we're seeing him for 20 minutes, but we might see him for a little bit if they need some size. That makes sense, I guess. And then Pascal and Evan Mobley, that's the matchup right there. Darius and Nemhard. And then, so I guess Nemhard's going to be on Donnie, and then Darius is on Nemhard, which is good for Nemhard. Darius, pretty weak defender out there, we know. TJ McConnell got hella minutes on Donnie. And then, wait, did Hallie miss this game? That's really going to fuck everything up again. Yeah, no, he did. He'd only played 18 and a half minutes in this game. He might have gotten hurt in it or something because he only took 5 shots. So that's also super unhelpful. That sucks. So we're not going to have quite as much to go on. But let me see who Hallie was guarding while he was out here. If we look at that, he started on Dean Wade. So he'll probably guard Strus, right? So we're going to get Strus, Dean. Let me get back to this real quick. I'll go to the starting lineups here. So we're going to get Strus out there. That'll be the Hallie matchup. And then you can put Nesmith in here for Benny Matz. So if we look at this directly and we make this Strus, it's Garland on Nemhard on Mitchell, though, right? So yeah, so that's a lot what we can look at. Let's see what that makes us like a little bit more for this series too. Let's jump into some props madness stuff. I'm going to get into what you guys are looking at too, and then kind of get into some of the head-to-head and see how we can look at it. So let's just go one by one with what y'all got here and see where we're at. Right, and we also have to keep in mind, no Garland is a possibility, right? He's still he hasn't even had an update for this game, I don't believe, right? Let's start to look at what we can for this game. Why can't Twitter be reached? All right, pulling up if we got any. Let's see. Oh my God, now GP2 is listed questionable. Okay, so it's going to be this kind of show. If it's going to be that kind of show, I'm going to stick my dick in the mashed potatoes. All right, Gary Payton questionable. That's not what I'm trying to look for. We still don't know, though, right, about let me go to injury report real quick. So this is the official injury report. I got this listed in the description of the video if you're looking for the link to this. This says Darius is still questionable. I don't know if there's going to be, let me just put Darius in here and see if any of the beat writers are talking about him. I'll probably put this in Grok, honestly. Let's see. Darius Garland injury report for today. I'm just see if anybody has anything that's going to help us with that. Come on with it, Grok. Yeah, it does. All right. There's some of this maybe from early. Yeah, so it's not really going to help us right now. I don't think we're going to have much on Darius, but if anybody gets anything on him for this game, please let us know. Just drop that in the comments if you got it. So let's see. We got to look for Siakam. So Rebs, lines moving towards 7.5. In the game where Cleveland starters played, he was guarding Mobley mostly. Yep, and a nice spot for Indy threes. He was in position for long rebounds. Yeah, so you like to look for Siakam rebounds. Let's start there. Let's get to some Siakam stuff. We know he's guarding Mobley. Not a great matchup. Mobley obviously a boss in a lot of ways this season. On the boards, so head to head, he had 13 rebound chances game 1, 12 game 2, and 10 in this last game that he played on April 10th when they won by 2. So the rebound chances are not sexy. He's at 6.5 boards though. Interesting. I guess that is his season rebounding numbers. This team, let's see. So rebound chances, if we pull those up, he had 11.7 versus this team. It's only 0.4 more than his average on the season. Let me see what else. So we're talking about 10, 12, 13. So on the season, he had 11.3 to get 6.9. Nice rebounds. So 6.9 divided by 11.3 is 61% success. Against this team, he was slightly better, though. He had 8 divided by 11.7 rebound chances is 68% on his success rate. So a little bit high. I don't really know why guarding Evan Mobley would make your rebound chances higher. I mean, Mobley's crashing the offensive boards, but 6.5, I think, is a fair number. I don't know that we'll continue to see that. Obviously, if he gets 7 or 8 in this one, probably stays around the same, to be honest. This is probably close to fair for Pascal if we look at him in this matchup. I see it. Like 6.5 is still going to be a beatable number. This was 7.5 consistently in this last matchup, right? Let me pull that up real quick. Not this last matchup, but when he was playing against the Bucks. So I'm pulling up where are you at? This is from Betting Pros. This shows me past lines to see what the lines just recently were for him. So I don't have to like guess. Is 6.5 a good number? Is it a bad number? Let's see what the market said it was for him last time. So what this does is it shows me those numbers. I'm going to type in Pascal here. This is also linked in the description of the video for y'all, but I'm going to type in Pascal. I'm going to pull up his rebounds. They're at 6.5 for this game. If I scroll down, what I'm going to see is what the lines were in these past games, right? So this last game versus Milwaukee was also 6.5, 6.5, 7.5. 6, yeah, so 6.5 is about fair. That's what it should be. If we even go back to the regular season, it's about 6.5 all the time, right? On the season as a whole, if we take out head-to-head, he's over. Let's do this. 122. So he played 83 games this season, right? This fair. What we call fair. 6.5 is what he averaged. He went over this about half the time. This is a pretty much a 50-50 bet, and you're getting minus 140, minus 150 for it. If you get up to 7.5, maybe you get some plus money. But down here at minus 135, if we're saying this is damn near a 50-50 bet, and we're only getting minus 128, that means it's not 50-50 in terms of the odds that we get for it, right? That means that we're getting closer to what, like 57% chance that they think it's going to happen, 56% chance that they think it's going to happen. So those odds are not in our favor to take an over on Pascal right now where they're at. Let's see if something in the first game makes me wrong. But in the first game, before I get to a point of having any kind of data in the playoffs that I can use to go on, and I don't know what the exact matchups are going to be. We haven't even seen these teams match up. We can bank on Pascal matching up with Evan Mobley, but that doesn't make it a good bet, right? Because that's actually a tough matchup for a guy like Pascal. So I'm going to wait to see if something in the first game tells me that Siakam is going to be better for rebounds than I first thought. Okay, then this 6.5 might be a better number, but not at 50-50. When I think there's a 50-50 chance that he gets 7 and you're giving me minus 128, I got to pass on that for now. This is a good question. With the pace expected to be high, do we like Halliburton under 10.5 assists? I'd be interested to know why you think oh, right. You're saying you're scared to take under 10.5 if the pace is going to be high in this series, which makes sense. Let's look at Cavs Pacers this season. Pace game log. Let's see if that gives us the game log with pace. It does. All right. So in the first couple games, they saw a nice 98-99 pace in these first two, right? Also, though, I think the Indy's been playing hella faster lately, if I'm not mistaken. Let me pull up something else. I know I got hella tabs open. I'm pulling up the NBA stats page real quick. So what this is going to help me with is I'm going to look at advanced stats so I can look at the pace, right? I'm going to look at I'm going to change this date range. So I'm going to say that I want to know what happened since the All-Star break, basically, how fast have they been? So I'm going back to like February 13. That was around the All-Star break. I want to know all the games that they play. I got to go to regular season. Damn. I want to know all the games they played in the regular season from February 13th and onward, which is, like I said, after the break starts. What was their pace? And if we look at this now, their pace at this point was up to 8th, right? So they did start playing faster because I'm pretty sure if we change this date, let me nix this and let me say everything that they did up until the All-Star break, how fast were they playing? And let me go to end this at February 10th. So in the first half of the season, they were playing. Oh, they're playing faster. Okay, so they stayed the same. They didn't play faster towards the end. They stayed at about 100.7 pace the whole season. All right, so that means we know they're going to play fast. They played 99-97. What were the Cavs playing right quick? So let me get these filters out of here. On the season, the Cavs were playing hella fast too, right? Cleveland, 10th in pace. So both teams playing at about 100 pace. But we know that when you get into the playoffs, everything slows down, right? Like the fastest team, Memphis, played 103.7 in the regular season. If we look at this in the playoffs and see how fast teams are playing, you're not going to see the same pace. So a couple teams over 102s, just Memphis, just OKC. Those are the only series that was going with that high of a pace. Everything else has been, I mean, the fact that Pistons and Knicks were at such a high pace for everybody else, even Dubs and Rockets, Cavs and Heat. Obviously, the Heat want to slow things down. We're not going to see a 92 pace in this one. My point is, we can't just be like, well, they both played at 100 pace. They're both going to keep going at 100 pace. It's the playoffs. Things slow down. Teams get a lot more scared of everything, right? Guys are less willing to take shots early in the shot clock because now it matters. You miss that bitch and you might be coming out, as opposed to the regular season when you take a shot early in the clock. So, all right. So going back to props madness, I'll get out some of these in a minute. The questions about the dimes. Let's project the pace to be about 99, maybe 100 in game one. Both these teams pretty well rested, so they might not be as tired. Once you start going every other day, we ain't banking on a 100 pace. We're banking on like a 96, 97 pace, probably at the most, right? Once you get to that. Look at the finals last year. Look at the conference finals last year. You can see that pace drop precipitously, right? All right, so head-to-head, let's look at the dimes. 2 games, 10 on 25 potentials. And this is the game he left early, right? He only played 19 minutes in this 15-point win. But he had 10 potentials in 19 minutes. So these are 2 conflicting games here. 10 potentials, 5 dimes, 19 minutes. You double that, still only talking about 20 and 10. Interesting. Yeah, this under 10.5 is this is 9.5 now though. So I think people were already betting this under with you, JP. So let me see real quick. Under 9.5, it's a different ballgame, right? Now you're looking at this makes a lot more sense. We're back to what I think is a fairly priced line. If he's going to average about 20 potential assists per game against this team, then you expect him to get 10, maybe 11 assists. I'm not going to be looking for an under here. How many shots did he take in this first game? Looking at the shots here, he had 23 points on 16 shots, shot pretty well, took 11 threes. Yeah, we just don't have enough data right now for Hallie in this particular matchup. Let me look at what he did in this last series. Way different series. Can't really bank on that 100%. But yeah, so his points was at 17.6 points. We're talking about 11.6 dimes against this team. Obviously, way different, like we said. He's averaging, or his potential assists in the playoffs here, 17 per game. That's up 2. But what did he do head-to-head even when it wasn't the playoffs against I was going to look at the Bucks, but that doesn't matter. Let me look at playoffs last year for 1 sec. That was against, obviously, the Celtics, different ball game. Knicks, he didn't dime up much. Still had a ton of potentials. Only had 14.5 potentials in the postseason last year, whereas this season he's up early. I don't think we have enough data yet, honestly. I mean, if anything, the points are pretty close to fairly priced. All right, let's get out of the playoffs for a minute. It's the shot attempts that I don't know about. Let's come back to Hallie. We know he's going to have, I guess he'll probably have Strus on him. It's not a terrible matchup. I mean, Strus didn't like shut down Halliburton. Obviously, it's a different game. I got to see how they're going to come out. Honestly, I do think Strus is going to be on Hallie, but let's wait. I think 9.5 is probably fairly priced, so let's wait on that. Free sauce already locked in Donnie, so let's move over to some Cavs stuff. Donnie Mitchell on the under. Also, while y'all are jumping in, just a quick reminder, if you want to go ahead and give that video a like, goes a really long way to just help out everything we're doing here on the channel. Obviously, help some other people see the video too, as this is all free and whatnot. So the likes are much appreciated. But Donnie Mitchell, RA, 10.5. Let me look head to head. He played 2 games, one where he had 9 rebound chances on 11, or 9 boards on 11 rebound chances is high. Only 8 potential assists in each of these first 2 games. So the rebounds I'm interested to see, but the assist got my attention for sure as well. Trying to see where Free Sauce's look is at here. Let me know what you're thinking there, Free Sauce too. And I know you're under on Jay Allen too, so we can look at him. But all right, so Donnie RA on the season 9.4, so this does seem high. Had 1 game that was really good. Who did he guard in this January 14th game? Pulling that back up with the matchups. This is the box score on NBA.com. Let's pull up Donnie. So he's guarding Benny Matz. So he's probably guarding Nesmith in this game, right? Benny Matz was starting while Nesmith was hurt in that last game in the regular season. So he's guarding Nesmith. Does kind of put him in good position to get boards. Who was guarding Nesmith last round? I would have to look at that, see if they got extra board. Oh, it was probably Hallie. Yeah, it's probably Hallie. And Hallie gets hella boards against Milwaukee. So the under on the boards is what's scaring me more than anything. The rebound chances in the first game were just 5 and 31 minutes, which is pretty good. But who did he guard in that first game? So in the second game, we know he's guarding the equivalent of Hallie. He probably guarded the same dude, right? He probably guarded Benny Matz again. In this one, let me pull up Donnie real quick. Yeah, he guarded Benny Matz. And in the first game, didn't have quite the rebound chances. I'd be scared of the rebounds going under, but the assists do not scare me because the potential assists are hella low, right? 8 per game in both games versus this team. I don't like him to get 6 assists on 8 potentials. Ugh, don't love that. What's the playoffs been like? Yeah, this is high. This is high for a team. So against the Heat, he had 9, 11, right? But the Heat, in terms of opponent assists allowed during the regular season, if we look at the regular season, opponent assists allowed, where's Miami at? They are at 15th, and the Pacers are now at like 12th. They've been all right in the playoffs, but they're 12th in the regular season. Like, they don't give up assists. They're better. I mean, the Heat were all right, but like the Pacers have become much, much better limiting assists, especially in the last part of the season. Let me show you, make sure I'm not lying to y'all. Let me go to opponents. Let's put this in the regular season. Let's say basically date from, like I was saying, since the All-Star break here. What have they done in terms of opponent assists allowed? Let's see. They are 7th. So they've been 7th since the All-Star break, limiting assists. This is what they did last season. What was hella weird with the Pacers is they started out the season giving up a ton of assists somehow, and then they changed it back to what they did last year, which was don't double team, stick to the shooters, don't allow point guards to get assists against you. We went under on Jalen Brunson assists against them hella last year and a bit during the regular season for that very reason. So I would say the Donnie Mitchell assists are a ripe under, one that I'm probably going to take now. Like, this is too high. What the fuck does too high mean? Playoffs. Yeah, this is too high. Just straight up. Head to head, 8 potential assists per game. Yeah, I'm gonna lead off. Look, it's playoff Donnie, whatever you want to say, but that's scoring Donnie. In fact, this is like a pretty good Donnie points over and assists under. What did he do head to head this year against points? So 19 in the first game, he was 7 for 17. They lost by 15. He saw 31 minutes and still scored 19 points, right? 17 shots in 31 minutes is a lot. 23 shots in 31 minutes. Again, in this next game goes for 35, 23 shots in that one. Yeah, this is a good under assist for Donnie and over points, and like parlay them together, you get real good juice there. Minus 120 on 365. Yeah, I'm going to put that on the bottom line for those that are following along there. I'm going to probably get this up here as well for the folks in the VIP. Appreciate the shout. The rebounds scare me a bit more, but the assists do not. The assists, I think, like, he should be projected to get about 4. Donovan, let's go Donnie Mitchell. Under 5.5 assists. That's minus 120 on 365. All right. Looking at that, I also think SGP like 25 plus points / under 5.5 assists. That's probably a pretty good number right there you're going to get back. So the best place to do that might be, it's either 365 or FanDuel. Let me just pull up FanDuel real quick and see what those odds are. If we put Donnie Mitchell in a parlay where he's going over on his points and he's going under on his other shit, you can see last bet I was looking at was LP Sengun. Let me get to Pacers Cavs. Pull this up. What was the score in these games too, real quick? This was a 15-point loss for the Cavs and a 10-point win. That's right. Okay, so not really close games. Back to FanDuel. The player points, let's see. Let's just give Donnie his normal points for a minute. He's at 26.5, right? So let's just do his actual core line. Over that, on the assists, we go under. In fact, if you wanted to get real comfy with it, you could go under alt assists. So you can go to Donovan Mitchell alt assists, find 6.5 and go under. You're still going to get plus 150. If you go under on the core line, you get plus 210. So it's a good way to get 2-to-1 on your money when you take an under on the assist and an over on the points for a guy, or vice versa. If you have a read on why he might do one more than the other, you're going to get better odds, right? Like plus 210 for just these two bets together. Normally you might see this at like plus 180. You get a little bit more because they're negatively correlated. And I'll just explain that real quick. something's negatively correlated because you think Donnie's going to have the ball in his hands a lot and go over on the points, right? But if you think he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot, then he has the opportunity to get a lot of assists too. So if you think he's going to do well in this prop, but you take him to do poorly in this prop, you're going to get increased odds because they're negatively correlated. It's the same thing as if I took Donnie over points, but I took the Cavs to lose the game. I'm saying I like Donnie to do well, which would make you think that his team is going to do well, but I'm also betting on his team to not do well, right? So I'm saying under on something good, whatever. You get my point now. So these two things are negatively correlated. They're going to give us better odds. Look at this on Bet365, that kind of thing. But that's probably going to be a look for me for Donnie Mitchell in this game. It's pretty much classic Donnie Mitchell stuff in the playoffs. Not even looking to pass. I think this number goes down to 4.5 as soon as we get there. 6 is too many for Donnie. So I'm just going to bet that. Honestly, I got to get that on the card real quick. Let me get that out here for y'all in the VIP as well, because that's going to be super helpful. All right, let's see. Let me keep rolling, though. But I like the look. I appreciate that from you, Free Sauce. Always a good thought there. Under on the turnovers is going to be scary when you consider how much he's going to have the ball in his hands. Let me take a closer look at that in a sec. But I do want to get this Donnie Mitchell bet up because I think that's too many assists. All right. Bear with me. Am I gonna be able to bet that right now? Yes. Got my people ready. All right. I'm about to get that down, but I'm putting it in the VIP for y'all that are in there. All right. And the baby models tell me you can play that to minus 140. Yeah, minus 140 still gives you like a 12% edge if you want to take that. I'd still be okay with that. All right, cool. Let's keep rolling there, but I like that. The Donnie turnovers. Let's look at his turnovers in these games right here. 3 and 2. What about in these playoffs right quick? Playoffs. Yeah, didn't really get him. The Heat didn't really force him. Didn't really have a good matchup. Nemhard's a pretty good matchup. I mean, he's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. I think I see where you're at with this. On the season, what was he at with the turnovers? 2.1. So under 2.5 is probably not a bad look. It's actually juiced that way, right? They seem to agree with you that he's going to go under. What did the Pacers do forcing turnovers? Opponent turnovers. This is the last half of the season. They were good. They were 6th forcing opponent turnovers. And if you look at their steals at that time as well, it doesn't really matter. Just forcing the turnovers. So they're a good turnover defense. I'd be a little bit scared of the under there, but he has seemed to be doing that. I think for minus 130, you're probably not getting a great price for Donnie Mitchell on the turnovers. But let's keep throwing some stuff out there. We saw the Hallie assist look 10.5. I would be going under. That was the call earlier, but I think 9.5 is the look now, and I think that's exactly what it should be. So probably out on that. Let me see real quick. I want to try to go in order as much as I can. Let's look at that. Yeah, that's also true. If Garland is out, like we know where we're going. Obviously, we're looking at Ty Jerome. So yeah, Free Sauce calling that. And then also, yeah. So Anna's talking about Allen PR, Nemhard points, and Hallie assist. So we got the Hallie assist out the way. 9.5 is fair. I'm not betting on that. And then the Allen PR and Nemhard points. So let's start with Allen because Free Sauce was also bringing up the under. He likes the under 10.5 boards, and I can already tell why. Probably when you play against the Pacers, it's not that centers can't get rebounds; it's that Miles Turner pulls them from the top of the key. He pulls them to the top of the key from the basket. Let me pull up. I'm going to get off of this for a sec. I'm going to pull up FanDuel Fantasy Pros. This just helps you kind of see real quick. Center rebounds on the season. Not an end-all be-all, but center rebounds on the season, the Pacers were atrocious. That's my only fear. You would think that the Pacers would be a little bit better limiting rebounds to centers because they pull their center, their center, Miles Turner, on offense is playing above the break, right? He's playing at the three-point line mostly, which is going to pull centers out that way. And Allen and Turner were guarding each other. Let me look at what he did against this team this season. The Rebs, head-to-head. So he went under in the 3 that he actually played minutes. Well, in this one, he only played 16. Damn, that should scare the shit out of you to take an under. Now, granted, he played without Mitchell and Garland, but the fact that he had 11 rebound chances in 16 minutes should terrify us. And this was the game that we also knew Jared Allen wasn't going to play past the first half. He played 16 minutes the first half and then sat, right? So me see here. The rebound chances in the first 2 games, 17, 14, got 9 in both those. We do have 10.5 in this one. This last series ain't gonna matter. I don't want to put too much stock in it, but in this last series, go to the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, every single game was a blowout. So Jay Allen didn't have to do much. He dominated that series too. I'm not in a giant rush to take an under on Jared Allen when he's the heart and soul of this defense. And to be honest, at times on the offense when he cleans stuff up. Let me see real quick. Rebounds, head to head, right. The chances are low though, but this is 25 minutes. 32 minutes feels right. Can't we only have 14 in 32 minutes? I see where you're at. This scares me though. How bad they are and how bad they were in this game right here scares me for sure. I don't know if Miles was playing. I think Miles was playing that one, right? He didn't miss any games. So Miles did play in that game head to head that Jay Allen right here had all his rebound chances. So he was still out there. What's Miles' rebounds at? Poo-poo. All right. So I don't know if I can get there with an under on Allen. I think 10.5 might be high. If he doesn't get it in this game and it drops down to 9.5, then you're right for sure. But I don't know if this is enough for me to get a bet down on him. Like not in the playoffs when I can be looking at 35 minutes for him. All right, let me see. Let me get back in. Go ahead and feel free to jump in the comments if y'all want to look at stuff. Definitely go ahead and give that video a like if you do jump in the comments and we get to any of the stuff you want to look at. Much appreciated. It goes a super long way. I will tell y'all this is Props Madness. I know you guys have probably seen me use it before, but if you have not, let me know if you have any questions about it, and definitely jump in if you want using that code. If you're going to get in on Props Madness, it's like $20 a month, but you get 25% off your first month. If you use LYB, you can also get a 7-day free trial using this platform if you want it. So LYB is the code pretty much for everything. So if you want to get in here, that's what it would, that'll help you out a lot. We need to see about Garland, obviously, before I bet on too much. I guess that's why Donnie's stuff is so high now that I'm talking myself back into the Donnie assists, which I'm still good on an under. Even if Garland doesn't play, we're still going to get plenty of Ty Jerome out there as a secondary ball handler. Somebody brought up DeAndre Hunter while I'm just a little bit all over the place. And the thing with DeAndre Hunter is going to be, we don't know if Darius is playing. So we can't really bet on other stuff necessarily. Like Mobley. Well, let's take a look at Mobley. Now I'm talking about it. We know what, let's see. Let's look at Mobley. Let's put up, let's start doing this without Darius for a minute and just assume that we might not have him. So without Darius on the boards for Mobley, I don't know. It's not going to be impacted too much. The points go up a little bit without him this season, including 2 with the Heat here. But again, low minutes. If we look at the regular season when he's playing without Darius, it's like 20.8. He's at needing 19, 20 points. Maybe you get a bit of an edge here on 17.5 instead of 18.5. But this is basically his points on the season. So again, I don't know if I have much reason. Let me pull Garland up. So now I'm just looking at his head-to-head. Game 1, 10 shots. Game 2, 12 shots. So his shots have not been high. I mean, Pascal is a good defender, right? So Pascal on him is not going to be like a fun time for him in this series. In the last series, he also had a pretty shit matchup where he had to play against Bam. So started out weak and then just hit a bunch of good he's still not taking more than like 13 shots at any point, right? That scares me a bit. He should have a higher usage. This should be a closer series, right? The Pacers are way better than the garbage ass Heat turned out to be. But yeah, I'm still a little bit nervous. And Ty Jerome, this is like great. Love this. This will probably go up if Darius is officially ruled out. The fact that the books still have things listed as though like Darius is probably going to play still seems at least a 50-50 shot. I would lean towards him playing, but I'm not positive. Let's see if we got any kind of update here. Nope, just PropBot AI trying to still get my business. All right, so we don't have anything there. Let's go to the Pacers then for a minute. And Sam Merrill's probably starting, right? And we'll keep Ty Jerome on the backups, which is actually good. He's dealing with like TJ McConnell and maybe some Benny Mathurin at that point. I'm fine with that for Ty. We'll wait for the Ty Jerome stuff. And then we've got Pascal at 19.5, Tyrese 18.5, Miles 14. Nesmith was somebody brought up, but let me start with Nemhard actually before we get there. Like, isn't this just an auto bet, right? This is what I've been talking about. Nemhard points 11.5, but playoff Nemhard is different, right? Like this is playoff Nemhard this year. This is playoff Nemhard last year. 15 points a game. This is a 15-point a game guy in the playoffs. The problem that keeps fucking me up with him is the field goal attempts. 11.8, that's up from the season. 14, 14, 8, 10, 13. So he's averaging about 12 per game against the Bucks. He also fucking slaughters the Bucks. He goes buck hunting, I guess, because he killed him in last year's playoffs too. Only going under this number once. But god damn, man, like his matchup versus the Cavs is, again, it's going to be probably Donnie, right? Who guarded, or no, Donnie was guarding him. So is it Darius is on Nemhard? That's what I was saying. Yeah, Darius is on Nemhard, and Nemhard was in this game, but Shepherd was available, so they put Darius on Shepherd. But if we look at the other game, this is Darius. And this was, so he's guarding Nemhard, right? Because Ben Shepherd played in the other game. So they put their worst defender on their worst offensive player, which is Ben Shepherd. Nemhard, they consider the worst offensive player, or at least, worse than Halliburton, which is fair. But like, that's how big part of the handicap for Nemhard is. He's always getting the worst defender on the other team because they put the best defender on Hallie, and then they put their taller wing defenders on Nesmith and their power forward on Pascal. So that all makes sense. And Nemhard has an easy matchup. We don't know that Darius is playing. So if Darius doesn't play, then Sam Merrill is starting. I know it sucks that we do this. I mean, I'm a small white guy too, so it's like pretty annoying that like other teams might look at me across the court and be like, we're gonna take out that guy. They don't know what they're getting themselves into when they try to come at me. But Sam Merrill, also underrated, and the only reason he's underrated is because he's small and white. Let's be honest about it. But he is underrated as a defender. He's a real gym rat. So I don't want to like come in here and just shit on him and be like, hey, everybody who he guards is just gonna get all their points. But if you're if you're being guarded by Sam Merrill and you're Andrew Nemhard, or you're being guarded by Darius, you're licking your chops. So we're going over on Nemhard. Let's just be real. Like, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm not taking 11.5 points for Nemhard. It's playoff Nemhard. He's a 15-point a game guy. I'm putting that on the bottom line as well, because I don't need to know if Darius is playing. So I like that. Yeah, got to get a bet on Nemby. So I forget. I think I know somebody was asking me about this, but yeah, Andrew Nemhard over 11.5 points. Let me see if I can get my FanDuel partner up. All right, got Nemby there. Stand by. All right, let me get this up on the card real quick. Like, I don't need to dive into this anymore, bro. Like, we know what it is. It's Andrew Nemhard in the playoffs. What other cap do you need? Like, it's a good matchup. It's a good spot. So if something in this matchup, in this game, tells me, right, that this is not something I can just go back to because it's a bad matchup for him. But let me see, too. Hold up. What the head-to-head was. And I need to make sure my guy is around. Let's see. Head-to-head, right. So first game, 19. This is regular season, too, right? Look at regular season Nemhard. 10.4 points per game. That ain't playoff Nemhard, right? Like, or as Street Cred and I call him, do-rag Nemhard. When he came to the podium, just looking hella hood and just like do-rag LeBron, like 4, 5, 6, doesn't matter, right? Like, we got Nemhard. So I don't really care about the regular season shit. In the minutes he played per game against this team, right? His minutes in the regular season are 29.2. His minutes in the playoffs have probably been actually about the same, if I had to guess. 32.2. He gets 3 more minutes. Some of these games were blowouts, and he missed, right? He only played 30 here, 31 in the 26-point win. OT, he plays 37. Like, he should be at 32 minutes in this game. If you look at him in the regular season, again, not 1-to-1. We don't want to just take the regular season and be like, well, this translates to, it doesn't translate to the playoffs. It's different. But let's pretend that he got anywhere from 30 to 34 minutes in the regular season game. What happened? What did he do points wise when he played 30 to 34 minutes? Still not that impressive. He goes up to, but he's at 11 points per game. Like, it's 1 more point per game when he gets up there, and we're getting him as playoff Nemhard. Easy matchup. That's a bet. Like, I'm not going to second guess myself on this. We're just going to bet on Nemhard like we always do. And the under rebounds might be a look too, but we'll come back to that because he doesn't get involved in the boards at all. But I'm going to add that for Nemhard for now. Take him on the points. What do we got here? All right, we're still good on time. Playable. So let's see if he's at this number. This is going to be minus. So it's saying you could play this to like minus 135. I would play this to minus 130 if I was going to play. If you don't have that available to you, minus 130 gives you a 15% edge. And I'm using his playoff numbers to come to that. So keep that in mind. Let me get this. Did I do this wrong? All right. So you got Nemby in there for the points. All right, we're good. All right, let's keep rolling. I do like that though. It's hard for me to get away from that. And if anybody in the comments had anything about, yep, huge difference. And this is it, right? This is why we talk about volume, and this is why Free Sauce is one of the VIP cappers in the VIP, because it's about his shot attempts, it's about his volume. Volume is minutes, and volume is shots. And he goes to from 9 shots in the regular season to 13 in the playoffs. 4 shots is huge, right? I mean, if you hit one of them, you get 2 more points than the 10 that he's averaging, and then we're good to go. So that's right. Welcome. That's right. That's right. Appreciate y'all. All right. Let's keep going, because I think I started talking shit on small white defenders, and that probably got us to red a little bit. But let's keep rolling with some shit. I think this is probably when I was talking about Jay Allen, Gregory, and I agree. Any relation to Fred Smoot? Let me know. Former cornerback, football. Only Mobley look that Jolene likes, the under 3.5 assists. And even then, you're a little bit wary. Jolene, interesting. We're talking about the Siakam. Wait, where you just said the damn, how did I lose that comment so quick? It's hard out here. Where is come on, man. Damn, dude, you were just talking about something that was really good. Somebody tell me what I just saw. Yo. Did it just get deleted? Who were you just talking about? Damn, I just lost it. Stand by. I'm gonna find this thing. I'm not losing it. I like that look. It interested me, and now I lost it. Jolene, did you just delete that comment, or did I just lose it? Let me know if you can remember what the hell I was just talking about. Jared Allen, no, it was Evan Mobley assist. There we go. And I'm going to call it out. You said that's what she said. That's hilarious. Jared Allen under assist. That's what she said. All right. It was Evan Mobley, though, but thank you for bringing me back to one of the bigs on the Cavs. That's what she said. Evan Mobley dimes. Let's look at this real quick. So is there anything we know that, like, this is FanDuel Fantasy Pros. This is showing me NBA defenses versus positions, how they guard them, right? So the reason I'm doing that here for Evan Mobley is, like, first of all, point guard assists. Indy was bad in the first part of the season. I guess bad the whole season in terms of giving up. Let's do last 15 assists to point guards. Yeah, Indy got back in the top 10, right? They were terrible, like I was saying. Then they got better at limiting assists. They went up to, like, whatever that is, like 7th or 8th in terms of limiting point guard assists. What about power forwards in that same time frame? Because my thinking is that maybe the power forward has a little bit better chance to get dimes against the squad. Yeah, so a power forward is a little bit more likely to get an assist than a point guard, but it's not like they're terrible. They're still kind of middle of the pack. So going to Evan Mobley dimes, regular season, he's at 3.2 per game. Head-to-head, he was under in both games. 8 potentials. That's scary. And then just 4 potentials. So that means he's averaging 6 potentials per game. Minus 150, it's starting to get juiced in a way that might, knock me off of it. What did he do last year against his team head to head? He had 3 on 10. These random ass 10 potential. Okay, so Donnie and Darius were missing. Was that the case with this game? Hold up. I'm fucking up right now. 24-25. Even in this game right here, no, everybody was available. 8 potentials. So 8 potential assists. And he's had a couple games with high potential assist numbers against his team, which does scare me. Again, we need to know if Darius is in or out. I don't know if that impacted his assist during the regular season. Let's take Donnie, or Darius rather, take him out, Donnie in. All the games without Darius with Donnie still doesn't really help him on the dimes. In fact, he's slightly lower, right? Only over in one game against this. He played out of his mind against the Grizzlies. But that didn't really help him. So yeah, I think the under assist is probably a good look. It's just that the juice isn't really there for me. So that's kind of, but remove whatever. All right, let's keep rolling then. Still should have some time for other stuff. No, you're all good. That's still good. You got there with it. I appreciate it. All right. Let's see. Allen assist. Well, no, yeah, we're talking about Mobley. Yeah. Thank you, Jolene, for coming back in there, helping out the ADD king right here. Mobley. So y'all all like it. Like, I see a lot of people liking that look. So I think that's good. Let's see. So we got a Max Strus threes look. Let me start there before I go back up and look at a few others. Max Strus on the threes. And how did I lose the standby? Hold on a second. I gotta add Twitter back. I lost all my Twitter folk. We should be going back up on Twitter. All right. No way. Fred's not your cousin. Is he? That would be fire. I mean, Smoot's not like the most the most popular name in the world. So like it wouldn't surprise me at all. But that's fire if that's true. Loved Fred Smoot, bro. I always drafted Fred Smoot in Madden. I forget which Madden it was now, but whenever I got like to whatever pick in that fantasy draft you would do in Madden to like make your team, Fred was always cornerback, either number 1 or number 2. He was like an 88, all the agility. Love Fred. All right, you were talking about the oh no, and you didn't even have that last bet. You were talking about Fred, which I appreciate. Let's look up the Strus threes with J Max Rise. Where you at, J Max? Where'd you go? Damn, these comments move fast, fam. That's gonna be Siakam for sure. Siakam's gonna be on there. I should have put together my little matchup graphics. That's my bad. Why is Twitter dicking me right now? You're causing all the Twitter fans to lose their bets they're trying to make. Come on, StreamYard. Do better. Stand by. I'm trying to fix this. Of course, when we don't have producer David, everything goes to hell. Oh, nope. Error occurred. Fucking garbage. Don't tell me what to do, StreamYard. It's your fault. All right, last time we're going to keep it rolling. If this doesn't work. Okay, well, fucking go live. All right. Yeah, I think we got to probably get a little 15 plus on Nemhard, depending what the number is there, Doug. Let me know what the odds are that you can get for that. Because yeah, I got to be there with it. And yeah, Street Cred, I was talking about this earlier, bro. Like I think that Donnie assists under, as you know, but the Rebs, it might be a better over. It's just a little bit high. If it's 5.5, you might lose me, which I think it got. Oh, it's 4.5, but it's juiced, right? So if you want the good number, yeah, 5.5 is where it's at. Minus 135 on the 4.5. Not really there with it, honestly. 5-6 boards is a lot for Donnie. So 4.5 is a great number to go over for him in this series. I think 5.5 is probably going to be a number I stay away from when we talk about that for him. And this is what I was trying to get to. So let me get back to threes for you, sir. Threes for Max Strus, which we also don't know what's up with Darius, right? Let's get to these playoffs. He sucked at the beginning. Dicked us right here because he didn't have to play, but he went 1 for 6, only took 6 shots, only took 4 threes. So his threes are at not 3, not 3 of them. This is not a good matchup for spot up shooters, right? So on the season, he had 4. This is in January. Keep in mind, I was telling you too, like their ability to limit spot up shooters got better as the season progressed because they sucked at first, right? Let me see if I can't get this. Hold up. This is so whack that it just like canceled my Twitter shit. Let's see if I can do one more time. Oh, is it going? Oh, it's live on Twitter now. My bad. All right, we're good to go. All right, we're good. All right, let's see. Yeah, Strus threes are not. You're not getting me there with it. I'm glad he took 7, but if he takes 7, do you still want him to hit 3? Right, like on the season, he averaged 2.3 makes on 5.9 attempts. Damn, really? That's not bad. 2.3 divided by 5.9 is 39%. That's pretty good. So what do we need him to shoot here? We need him to shoot, if we take 7, 9, he needs to take 8 for us to feel good about this, right? Because if he takes 8 and he hits, then he shoots him at 39%, then he hits 3. So if you can get him to 8 attempts, and this is this is how I handicap threes, right? If you can get him to, it's the attempts and how many do I need him to hit of those attempts that I project him to take. So if I project him to take 8, and he's a 39% 3-point shooter, for plus 120, yeah, I can get there, right? If my projection is that he's going to take 8 threes, and I know he makes on average about 38, 39% of his threes, well, 3 is 39% of 8, right? Like 8.2, whatever. So I need him to take 8 shots from 3. If I can get there with 8, and let's see if that holds true. So 3-point attempts. Let's say he takes a maximum. Let's say he takes like 8 exactly. On the season, if he takes 8 exactly, he's hitting 3 because he's a 39% 3-point shooter. And again, 3 is 39% of 8. So I need him to take 8 shots. Let's see what happens if he takes less than 8, like any number less than 8. And let's see if my fat fingers know how to use a goddamn mouse. All right. 0 to 7. Where's he at? Now he's at 1.8. Let's even say he takes 6 or 7 threes. Where's he at? Oh, actually, that's really good. What? That's actually not bad. How's he hitting that many threes? That's the ridiculous percentage. So when he takes 6 or 7, he just shoots 50% from 3? The hell? That's crazy. So let's say he takes 5 or 6. Now where are we at? Okay. So we need him to take 7. That's what we're saying, right? If he takes 6 exactly, okay, but we need him to take 7. Okay, I can get there with that. Again, mathematically, over time, we need him to take 8. If you can get there with that on the projection for him, then I feel you. Head to head, he took 5 and 7, and that was in 23 and 22 minutes. So how many minutes can we really, really, truly get him to? Let's look at the playoffs here one more time. So he was playing 21 in this first game. They won by 21. 26 in this next game. They won by 9. I think 26 is probably a good minutes projection for him. He played 31 in this game because he was hitting, and they were putting him out there against his former team to smack him. And they liked the fact that he liked the little revenge narrative, right, against his former squad. 1 for 4, though, in this last game because they won by 55 and it wasn't a real game. So let's get him to 26 minutes. I think that's fair. So let's do something with that. 26 minutes for Max Strus during the regular season. Let's give him a range of 24 to 28, right? So that's averages out to about 26. A range of 24 to 28 during the regular season. When he played 24 to 28 games, 24 to 28 minutes during the regular season, there was 23 games that he did that. He still only hit 2.3. The 3-point attempts in this amount of time was an average of 6, which is, again, where he's at on the season. I don't trust him to make 3 on 6 attempts. Definitely don't. Plus 120, all right, you're getting me a little bit closer to wanting to take it, but I need to get to a spot of feeling comfortable that he's going to take 7, at least 7, if not 8 threes for me to take this. In that situation, good, but the minutes help me project the attempts, and I can't get there past like 26 to 28 minutes for Max Strus in this game. So if that's the case, then I got to be out on it for Strus. I can't get him to 30 minutes guaranteed. If Garland is out, okay, now we're talking. But I still don't have my bad, that's my boy Ev. I still don't have anything there, right? Nobody has any info on Darius, so I can't get there yet. If Darius is out, maybe we can get him to 7 or 8 3 attempts. Then we can go ahead and take an over on Strus. Until then, I'm out on that. I'll answer this because I answered it earlier. Mitchell under turnovers, I stayed away from. This Indy team has been very good at causing turnovers. He did it once, didn't do it once, 50-50 bet. Nothing there that really helps me get over on that one. All right, let me see what else we got here. We can look at Pascal. I think I looked at him already a little. We need playoff David. That's so true. We really do need playoff David. He's doing the Lord's work, man. David's in education, so he's literally on the front lines of a battle right now. No worries. I'm not touching anything with this until we know about Darius, to be honest. But I like Donnie points, and I like under assists. That's the way that I'd be playing Donovan Mitchell today. Let me keep rolling. I think maybe in like 20 minutes, we'll take a look at some of the Rockets and Warriors stuff, because that game doesn't start for another, 5 hours. Fire. 2/3 of the world covered by water, the rest covered by Smoot. Hell yeah. I love that this became a Fred Smoot celebration show. Oh, Michael, getting crazy with it. I see you though. Like, no shade. Plus 725. Let's get it. I'm rooting for that for sure. Turner 2 blocks. Turner's an interesting one. I'm gonna give y'all this for the future. And I would write this down. I'm dead ass. Miles Turner under blocks versus the Celtics. If he plays the Celtics next round, every single game will be Miles Turner under block. I don't care if it's minus 400. I will be betting that under Miles Turner blocks against the Celtics. Believe that. But let's take a look at blocks for him against this squad, because the reason is the Celtics are shooting everything from away from the basket, right? Cavs probably taking a few more shots inside the paint. Nobody's taking more threes than your Celtics. So that's why there's no chances for Miles Turner to block anybody, because ain't nobody going down there for him to block. Wow. It's not crazy, but they're not going to give us lines. I mean, who has watched Pat Spencer and has not thought to themselves, play him? Like, Sengun comes up, bumps his ass. He's like a two heads taller than Pat Spencer. Pat Spencer headbutts him in the face. Love that guy. Love Pat Spencer. Give him some, like, not even just he's got heart and hustle. He finishes around the rim. He makes shots. Like, Pat Spencer's a good basketball player, fire lacrosse player, really good basketball player. Could not agree more. They're just not going to give him, DFS. Oh, you can play Pat Spencer in DFS. My bad. This is what you're asking. I should have read the whole thing. What's he like? $2,500? If he's like 15, is there a $1,500 amount for a player? If he's that low, that's an incredible zag. Problem is, he's still not going to get stats. Like, he's getting stats and shot attempts when he's out there with not Steph. If they put him in that role, he's not going to be a defender on it. He's not going to guard Fred. So I can't get next to it. But if I was the coach of the Warriors, Pat Spencer would get a legitimate look and not just some bullshit. So let me see what else we got. Sorry for getting this in your ear. I'm just like, got hella dry mouth. I'm not trying to like drink water every 3 seconds. I know I missed some of y'all stuff up as well, but I mean, we only have so many people to talk about anyway, right? So let me get into some people we haven't talked about yet. For those of y'all coming in, we do like, look at that. We're already being asked. Oh yeah. Minimum salary. I can't get there with it. Sorry. I can't. I would love to be able to tell you yes. If I had even an inkling that Kerr was going to give him some legit burn in this game, I would say absolutely have at least one lined up with your boy, with Pat Spencer. And if you can play like pro lacrosse fantasy, like that dude would kill it if he actually played. All right, let me see. Let's get to Nesmith. That's the guy we haven't talked about. We haven't talked about TJ. Let me star these comments to remind myself so that when I get ADD asked out, and see, Jose, you got top in, put that in there, save that. Ty we're talking about because I'll just get this one out the way, but I got Nesmith on deck and TJ McConnell, and I got Obi on deck too, right? Are you talking about DFS for top end? I'm not totally sure about, but I can take a look at that real quick. Nick, stop yelling at me. I don't know if you know your caps are on, bro. Right now, the card has what it's got on the bottom there. I did take a Jalen Green over 3.5 first quarter points. I'll give that one to y'all since I'm not touching the Rockets game just yet. But if y'all want that's the one bet I have in that game so far. And I think we might be able to get there with it. Pause on this. Jalen Green, first quarter points is probably still 3.5. You still get the same number I got, 3.5 minus 125 is what I played. Is the PRA back up to 22? Let's go. So I think we got to go back to it. What we hit last game for 4-1 was Jalen Green over 3.5 first quarter points, parlayed with Jalen Green under PRA. Let's take a quick look at that because we got it. Donnie's price going down here too for the little parlay I'm probably about to put together for him. That game's in 2.5 hours. All right. Take that recall out. All right. Player points. What am I looking at? The ADD strikes again. Jalen Green over first quarter points. All right, let's keep it rolling. First quarter, JG, 3.5. Now parlay that shiz. It's going to be way better on Bet365, y'all. There's zero question. Parlay that with him to go under on his combo is not going to give us. Actually, this didn't even let us do it on FanDuel the other day. I'm also on the wrong game. Come on, dog. Do better. Dubs, under combos. Let's see if we can get. They're not going to give it to us because they're soft. Soft, FanDuel. If anybody in here from FanDuel is listening, y'all, soft. Capital T, soft. Yeah, see? This is the type of stuff you got to do on like Bet365, Hard Rock. Caesars might let you do it, but the Bet365 is the only place I've been able to get this down. And I'm about to, I think my last account that whatever, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep betting on Bet365, but that's if you can get a over on his early quarter points with an under on a game thing for him, under 15.5 points, I'm fine with. I prefer the under on like a RA for him, even though he's done it decently, or like a PRA. The points are the look though. This is again negatively correlated. If you think he's going over in the first quarter, but you think he's going under for the game, small margins. You're taking negatively correlated things. You would think if he goes over in the first quarter, you also like him to go over for the game. But you want to take a parlay where it's over in the first quarter, under for the game, put them together, get 4-1 for 2 bets. If you can get 2 bets parlayed together that are both like minus 120s and you parlay them together for plus 400, you're cheating the system. Like you're doing it right. It's just that's not very likely to happen, except for this series where it's happened in 4 of 6 games in this series where JG has gotten over in the first quarter points. Let's look at it again. Over in the first quarter points in the playoffs, 5 of 6. The points combined with the under on the PRA, 4 of 6. Actually, 5 of 6. No, because 5 of 6. Holy shit. On 22 and a half. Yeah. On 20 and a half, it was like 4 of 6. But 22 and a half, 5 of 6 games, he's hit a plus 400 bet if you bet it. If you parlay over 3.5 first quarter points with the under 22 and a half PRA. It's just there's not as many books willing to do that. So you got to go to the right ones for that. True. Okay. Let me pull this up too. I did look at Siakam already, but I didn't look at the dime. So I got my stuff started. I'm gonna get back to the other bets. I won't forget the homies that just had stuff in there. Let's bring one up for J-Main as far as the Pascal dimes go. So again, he's guarded by Mobley. If we look at him head to head on the dimes, 2 on 4, 4 on 8, but that was without Halliburton, right? So Hallie missed this game right here. He played in this one, and he probably played in this one. Okay, so with Halliburton this season versus this team. Also, by the way, in a couple of these games, Halliburton played like very few minutes, right? So it's Jan 12th, he played like 19 minutes. So he still only had 4, played 31, 34. Yeah, so 7. Let's see, he's at 2.5. On the season, he's at 3. It's kind of a 3 per game guy, my man. I don't know if I can feel good about the under on his dimes necessarily. Playoffs. He had, on different squad, 5.2 potentials. Doesn't make it impossible to get 3. Obviously, he would run a little bit hot. During the regular season, though, right? Like let's look at it this way. Regular season games with everybody playing tonight. Miles, let's do Neesmith, Obi, whatever, right? Nemby, let's get TJ McConnell out there. So he's played with everybody that's playing, which is, even when he's playing with everybody, he's actually at 0.3 assists more. So it's not like that helps us at all. The head-to-head stuff, like limiting assists for this team makes sense, but I don't know if I can get there with it. For Pascal, it seems like it's a little bit too random. If he's at 5 to 6 potential assists, then you expect him to get 3-ish assists, right? And so I think that's much closer to a 50-50 bet. You're still just playing it about 50-50. So I don't know if I could run with that with Pascal, but let me get to the ones I said I would. So we got TJ, Obi, and what's the other one that I... Oh, and Benny Matz, right? Let me make sure I don't miss Benny Matz. Yeah, Benny Matz. Here we go. So Retro Ty was asking about that. So let me... I know a lot of y'all were, but depends what you mean for better game, bro. But if you're still talking DFS, probably Amin. Depends. Wait, no, you get more for the assist, right? So, yeah, it's tough. It's probably pretty close, actually. The reason I say Amin is you don't need him to shoot as well. Your margins for Fred are a lot slimmer because if Fred doesn't get the points, you got to rely on the assists, and then that's not getting you as much. But Amin, you could probably book for 7 boards, probably about 10 to 15 points, and you book him for 7 to 10 boards. You book him for probably not even 3 assists, bro. Maybe like 1 to 2. But the steals too for Amin. Yeah, I think it's Amin. If you're playing DFS, Doug, it's Amin. If you're talking about specific props to bet on a sports book, then it depends which one you're talking about. But for Fred versus Amin, DFS, or fantasy points, if you're playing that on Prize Picks or whatever, it's gonna be Amin for me over Fred in this one. Because of, whenever I'm playing fantasy anything, I want a guy who does everything, even if it's a few props in multiple categories, that gives you more outs. So he doesn't have to do as well on offense shooting to still get you points. Fred's got this smaller margin. That's how I'd be playing that for DFS. All right, where we at? Pascal assists, I'm passing on. Like you said, J-Main, it's sharp, right? Like it's close. So I don't know if I can get there for it. I got to get Fred on the docket as well, J-Main. So let me star that one. We'll come back to Fred. Why Nemhard for points? I'm only answering again because I'm so happy to answer because of how big of a Nemhard fan I am. But it's playoff Nemhard. That's the cap. That's it. 15 points a game in the playoffs since last season. Takes 3 more shots per game when he gets into the playoffs. Plays 3 more minutes per game when he gets into the playoffs. He's their best defender. He's the heart and soul of the defense, to be honest. He's guarding the best player on the wing every game. So he's going to be out there on Donnie. It's up to him to try to limit Donnie. Obviously, team effort, but the minutes will be there. And everything else. What are the boards like? He never gets rebounds when he guards a player like Donnie Mitchell. Head to head, though, let's see real quick, and then I'm going back. I promise. Yeah, like if he's guarding Donnie in all these games, look at his rebound chances. 3.3 per game versus this team on the rebounds for Nemby because of what we talked about. This is the same shit that we had with him in the Bucks series. Is Nemhard is going up as the main defender on a guy standing 40 feet from the basket. When Dame is not involved in the play, Dame is out by the logo kicking it, right? Just pulling his defender away, which is Nemhard. who goes with him. He's not helping off, right? We know that. We know that the Pacers don't double team. So Nemhard's not sagging off his guy. He's staying next to Dame at the damn logo. Same thing here with Donnie, it looks like, right? And if Dame and Donnie aren't involved in a play, that's where they kick it. Same thing for Donnie. They're not getting involved. They're not crashing. They're not running. They're just staying back, conserving energy for the next time that they decide to take over on offense. That's going to be the case again for Donnie. Is this 3.5? Come on now. Yeah, 3.5, I think, is going to be a look for Nemby, like 10 plus points and under on the boards. I'm going to write that down for myself too. That's going to be a lean for now until I can look further into it. Stand by. Let me get this going. But yeah, I got to make sure I don't forget Nemhard under boards. It's going in the notes right quick. I love that. That was, I mean, look, at the same time, like regular season, right? He played 28 minutes, 14 minutes. Like, I'm not really using these 2 games, but he played 33 here, 5 rebound chances. I'm not going to take him to get 4 boards on 5 rebound chances. Here, he also had 5 in 28 minutes, 2 rebounds, 5 rebound chances. Like, this is a good under for him. The points is just the volume. So hopefully that answers that question. But let me get my boy Nemby under 3.5 rebs in there. And that it's like gonna be hella juice, but it's something that I'll be looking at to do here for the rebs in a parlay with like the points or some shit like that. So that's what's on the bottom line. But yeah, I got Nemhard points on there already. Hope that answers your question. Let's get back into the the comments. My bad, banners. Let's do this for TJ. All right, here's the TJ McConnell handicap. We talked about this all playoffs last season for TJ McConnell. Quick reminder to go ahead and give that video a like, y'all. Much appreciated. I do still have a code too. If you want to jump in, you can still get a free month if you sign up for any of the sports books that are listed in the description of the video. That'll get you a free month as well. Like I said, they're all in the description. If you do that, sign up, use code LYB, hit me up, and I'll get you a free month in the VIP Discord if you want to get all of the picks that I'm making, and then get into the VIP chat, get access to some of the cappers and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's one way to just get in for a free month if you do want to jump into that VIP. And then I'm still leaving code Davion up for any of y'all that want it. If you want to get in for the 50% off on your first month, it's through Discord and everything. So link is in the description of the video for all that. A couple ways to get in there if y'all are interested. But moving on to the TJ McConnell. Here is the handicap on TJMC in the playoffs. This year, let's see, field goal attempts 7, 8, 4, 10, and 11. This is the TJ that I expect to see in the playoffs, is 10 shots or so. He makes 50% of his shots. They're all 2s, like he shoots like 3 threes a series, right? Not even 1 per game. So they're all 2s. So if he's out there for, I mean, he's gonna be out there from anywhere from 15 to 20. That's the other problem is like last year in the playoffs, it was a bet. It was like TJ McConnell under 10 points, bet it. He hits 50% of his shots. He takes all 2s. He takes 10 shots. 10 divided by 2 is 5. That means he's making 5 of 10 shots. 5 times 2 is 10 because he's getting 10 points. You see what I'm saying? Anything under 10 points, 8.5, 9.5, 7.5. It's usually just a bet for me with TJ McConnell. I don't feel as comfortable with that this season, to be honest, in the playoffs. Like, I just don't feel as comfortable about his shot attempts. So the field goal attempts in this first series were, and also, by the way, he gets all the dimes against the Bucks. We should say that. So he was at 8 shots per game in this series. He made an average of, 50%. So he's a 50% shooter. So he made 4 field buckets a game on 8 shots a game, right? Over in 3 of 5. Only 0 for 4 in this game where they lost by 16. I mean, that game was pretty out of control from the jump. I suppose Benedict Matherin's eating into his usage a little bit, but not really. Like, it's sort of more like TJ in takeover mode when he's out there. It's just he's got to do a lot in a short amount of time. So if you want to take over for TJ McConnell, I'm with it. Up to anything at like 8.5 points is where I draw the line for him, but I'm good with all that stuff. So that's my TJ look. I don't have a bet for, I don't know if I'll be betting on him game 1. But if you do bet on TJ McConnell, like 7.5, 8.5 points to the over, I would just be doing that consistently. As we say, just stick with the bet that you like. If you like it, it's the playoffs. Unless you see something drastically changing game to game that tells you TJ is not going to take shots anymore, then I say you just play that like an auto bet, right? Which is what we've been doing with Tobias Harris first quarter points, KP first quarter points, now Jalen Green first quarter points. It's like, he's going to take 4 shots. He might not hit 2 of them, but if he does, I win. So I'm going to take that bet every time. TJ, as far as the Cisco, he loves diming up against the Bucks here. We're at 6.6 potential assists in this series, yet he still averaged 4.6. That's really hot on the potential assist. But let's look at this head-to-head, too. What did he do against this squad? Not in the playoffs. Damn. 8. That game was mostly without Hallie, so he came in, but he only played 17 minutes. 8 on 15 potentials. This one was without Halliburton, though. And then 5 potentials, 7 here. The assists are at 3.5. So the points and assists are at 11.5. That actually didn't work out that well in this past series, did it? Not head-to-head. Playoffs, bro. Not head-to-head. 3 out of the 4, he averaged 14.6 PA in this last series. Head-to-head, he's averaging 12.8 versus the Cavs. What's a better bet here, the assists or the points? The points, let me look at the field goal attempts versus this team real quick. Field goal attempts, he's at about 8. I think it's all pretty good for TJ. I think TJ is probably worth some overs. It's close to 50-50 bet. It's definitely throwing. It's more of a, like I said, a gamble than just like a handicap here, other than I'm willing to gamble on this because my math tells me he makes 50% of his shots. He shoots 8 shots. He needs 8 points. I like that. The assists, I really want to bet. 3.5 is a great look. He's at 4.5 on the season. Now we're in the playoffs. Like, I think I can bet both of these. So I'll probably be looking at TJ McConnell on both of these as well. So TJ MC over 7.5 points. I'm looking at that. Haven't get this stuff in yet, and I am looking at over 3.5 assists as well. And I might be just taking both of them separately or maybe put them together. We'll see. All right, one more. I don't have. Yeah, let's see. All right, let's do one more, and then I'll do like a few of these Houston bets here, and then I got to call it because my brain is getting fried too. Still nothing as far as an update on Darius G, DG the PG. Let me see a couple of things. All right. Let's keep rolling. Let's do some Obi. Is there anything we can... Bro, I can't bet on Obi anymore. I don't know how to do it. Loves playing this team, apparently. Neesmith, 18, 20. So he's averaging... minutes-wise versus the squad, he was at 17 per game, below his season average. What he played in the last series? Last series, he played 15 minutes a game. 11, 14, 16, 21, 15. I don't know how to get him to 20 minutes. Like, it's 15 minutes should be the projection for Obi. So in the regular season, when he played 15 minutes, let's give him 13 to 17. Again with this. 13 to 17. Nope. 13 to 17. He's at 8.6 points per game in 25 games with a 60% hit rate. Let's see when he plays this many minutes with Pascal, Tyrese, Benny Matz, Miles Turner, Aaron Neesmith, Nemhard, McConnell. Still a really good hit rate. It's 10 points per game, man. I think we can get him to 15 minutes in this series. The boards don't look good. Can't even get 3 rebounds consistently, but the points, it's just like he's just hitting 5 of 6, 3 of 8, 8 of 11. He's taking hella shots and not very much time, man. Hard to get him there like consistently, but I think this is just another like, look, if you think that if you don't have a reason not to bet Obi, just either bet him each game or don't bet him each game, because you're gonna be mad if you think this is the game and you don't bet him. There's not quite as much rhyme or reason, right? That's why I say you just bet him every time. Just stay consistent, because the moment you move off of it, now you're starting to second guess yourself. Well, I played Obi last game and it didn't hit. I know, but now we're going back to it and we get a better number, so hit it again. Or if you missed it last game and he hits, you can't just go in and be like, well, he hit it last game, so now I'm gonna get in. Yeah, but you missed, and now he might miss this next one, and now you're gonna feel stupid. So play it the same way each time. If I don't start this series betting on Obi Toppin, I'm not gonna start it by game 3 or 4, unless I have a really good reason, right? But if everything stays the same and nobody gets hurt and all the minutes are still staying the same and Obi's at about 15 a game, then I should just be betting this every time, right? He's at 10 a game. I've got my math. That's my reasoning. So just go with it and just stick to it. Even if one game you see him miss some shots and not get there, then back up, right? But if you believe in Obi over the course of this series is going to be playing 15 minutes a game and he's going to be averaging about 8 to 10 points per game, then you just got to bet him on each and every game. So I'm going to leave that for right now and see if I'm going to bet on Obi later. If there's anything else that can get me to get in there with a bet for him, Otherwise, I'm just out, out for the whole thing. So, all right, that was it. And then Benny Matz is the same shit, man. Honestly, it's the same shit as Obi. And I know he got a little bit hurt here. He's missed a couple of guys. He did well in these games during the regular season. The playoffs are a different beast now. I'm not sure that we can trust him as much. So 25, 17, 14 got hurt, right? And then played just 16. I don't know, 8.5 is really low unless Benny Matz is legit hurt. So we'll have to see what's up with that. Is he still questionable? No, he's not even on there, right? Okay, so he's fully healthy now. He just missed because of injury. So how many minutes can we project Benny Matz for? Oh, man. On the season for Benedict Mathurin, he's at 29 minutes per game. That's high. He's not going to be seeing 29. But let's say he gets 25. Let's put him at 23 to 27 for a minute and just start there. 23 to 27, he's a 14 points per game scorer. Can we get him to 25 minutes? I don't know. He didn't average that. Basically, what he's averaging in the series, in the playoffs last series. This is just low for a guy who's going to come in if he plays 20 minutes. Let's play 20 to 24 for a minute. Still at 11 points per game. Like, he'd have to play super low amount of minutes for me to not want to bet over 8.5 points for Benny Matz. So I got to look into probably establish the run stuff and see if there's anything there that I can get next to with that. All right. But for now, I'm not going to be able to get y'all a bet on that. So, yep. Nemhard playoff wagon. You already know. Yeah, it does feel like that, and then sometimes it feels like I'm the one that Brett's goes into him so much that like I'm too high on Obi. So, but I still love Obi like forever. I think most Knicks fans will probably feel that way. All right, so this other game that's a little bit later, I have an episode up for that one, so I've got my looks in there. I'm going to keep it real simple. I've got to bet on Jalen Green because I do got to roll here in a sec too. And then I'm going to try to get a couple more things in for the VIP folks for this Cavs and Pacers game. The guys I'd be betting on over on, Alpi and Fred. Do with that what you will. I haven't bet on them yet, but those are the two guys I bet over on, man. I can't trust the minutes for anybody else. I can't trust the minutes for Dylan Brooks because of his fouls. Amin, 13.5 is low. Still 7.5 ain't low. It's all pretty high for him. Like, this is all his regular season numbers that they're giving us lines for. He's definitely figured some shit out in the last couple games, which is be more athletic than everyone. Do not wait. Go. He gets it and he goes. He's not waiting for anybody to run with him on offense. So if you're not running with him on the fast break, then he'll do it himself, right? And that's actually good for them. They need somebody to pull that pace forward for them. Otherwise, Fred and Sengun are just going to walk their asses up the court and try to run half-court offense every time, and it ain't that effective, especially if Jalen Green ain't firing. So, especially because they don't have three-point shooters because they refuse to play Jabari Smith for whatever reason, and obviously Reed Shepherd. So, for Amin, that's the only other guy I'm looking at, but Alpi, Fred, reasonably, you can take their overs. They're going to be taking the bulk of the shots. I know Fred has been stupid hot from the field, but he's also averaging about 16 to 17 shots. I know this says 13 shots in this last game, but he had 9 free throws. So you probably add about 4, maybe even 5 shot attempts that he took in that time frame, get him up to about 17 or 18 shot attempts. That's going to be the case for Sengun as well. Even in this last one, he had 21, but he took 20 shots, right? 9 shots in the prior game because they won by 15. He didn't have to play that much and have to do that much, but the games he did, 28 shots, that's a career high, 18. I think you get 18 to 22 shots from Sengun, so you take him. I like the boards for him if you want to take them. It's the thing is the double big. The games where he did awesome, they play more double big, and he actually benefits because when they go double big, it's Sengun versus Draymond and Steven Adams versus 3 dudes hanging on his arms as he tries to go up for a rebound, right? So Steven Adams is either getting fouled or has 3 dudes on his shoulders keeping him from getting the board. Alpi has a one-on-one matchup with a dude that he has like 4 or 5 inches on, and Draymond, no shade to Draymond, still as good of a rebounder. Back in the day, he was as good of a rebounder as Sengun. He's definitely losing a little step. So I like Sengun in that one-on-one matchup, and I like that Steven Adams is getting quadruple teamed. That's why we go Sengun in the rebounds, even with Steven Adams out there, which seems counterproductive, but more Steven Adams has actually equaled more boards for Alpi. So I do think that you can go that route if you want. The assists, I'd be down to take like 4+ for him, but I think he's going to be doing a lot of shooting in this one. Same for Fred. So the assists, I'd like to keep at like 4. I wouldn't really be trying to mess with like 6 or 7. That's the cap on the Rockets. If you're looking for anything else, it ain't coming from me. It ain't going to be me betting on Jabari again. or Tari. Steven Adams can't get there with it again. Even though the points look nice, look at these rebounds. 8.5. Fuck out of here. Bro, in 31 minutes last game, he had 16 rebound chances. You would love him to get 8 or 9 boards in that sense because of how much bigger he is than everybody. But as I said, the Dubs are like throwing 3. It's like watching midgets try to take down a giant as they just try to, dogpile him essentially. So that's where I'm at for overs for the Rockets. If you're talking about this game, who the fuck is starting? Does anybody know? Does Steve Kerr know who's starting? He certainly doesn't. Now, it's probably not Gary Payton in this quarter, which makes me actually want to go to Pods. And his stuff went up once Gary Payton's news came out. Yeah, I really wanted to take Pods like 10 plus, maybe 4 plus. Yeah. I really want to go back to Pods. If I'm Steve Kerr and I watched that last game, I'm going, well, that didn't work. Why the hell did I start Gary Payton over Brandon Pajemski? Like, I hope that's what he's telling himself. But Fred, we got to go back to him, right? Like, I think we got to go back to him if he's going to be out there at all. And Jalen Green, I still think we have it like 30 minutes tonight, like 30, 32. The only way he gets a hook is if he stops playing defense at all. But he's still going to be out there for 30 plus minutes in this one, as long as he doesn't start hanging his head and then he loses his shit. The promo for any of the apps you want to get into is LYB. That's going to be usable everywhere. Whenever there's a promo code that you're trying to use of mine, is going to be LYB. So try that. If that doesn't work for whatever reason, let me know. All right. Yeah, I think it's a good look if you're talking about Mathurin. So that's where I'm at for this. I think Pods is going to be a bet for me. I'm also really looking at Moody. Like, I'm looking at like Moody and Pods. So this is where we're at, right? Pods, Moody, Buddy, Gary. Those are 4 guys for 2 spots throughout the game. Those are the 4 guys that are really like their play and minutes depend on how much Kerr is playing the other guy because they're going to come in and out for each other. Moody has looked the best in the last 2 games without question. The ideal scenario would be that Moody and Pods are hitting their shots so you can get 2 good defenders. Moody better than Pods, but good defenders, good enough, not detrimental defenders. You get 2 good defenders out there and 2 guys that can both shoot. Gary Payton can't shoot. Buddy Hield doesn't defend as well as the other 2. I'm going to give Buddy some credit at times. All right. But too often he gets lost. He's too much of a reliability too often on defense. But obviously is probably their best option as a shooter. So they'd rather have Pods and Moody. Those are the 2 guys I'd rather bet over on. I think these assists for Pods are stupid low. Even when he played 29 minutes in this last game, 9 potential assists. Dudes were missing shot, and you're getting plus money for 3.5. That's crazy. We're looking at Pods assists over 3.5 assists. Pods. I think it's I'm going back to him. I was so sure that this was the answer for them last game, and then he started Gary Payton. And I wanted to call Steve Kerr myself and let him know what I thought about that. But I don't have his number yet. So that's where I'm at with who I'd be betting on here. Look, for Steph and Jimmy, I ain't gonna be fading them. I'll tell you that right now. That's all I got on that is I'm not going to be fading them. I don't know if I can still get there with 37.5 PRA, playoff Jimmy or not. That's insane to take something so high for somebody who doesn't do that very often. In playoffs, he's done it. I get it. In the 3 games where he's actually legit played, he's done it, but he's bumping up against it. In really good games, I can't get there with it, man. Betting wise, spot or not, I can't get there with it. Steph, I could. Steph, I could probably get there with just 30 plus. I think I showed some of y'all the Steph stuff. If you guys saw the other episode, these are Steph's numbers in game 7s in the history of his career. That includes the 50 burger. I was at that game, by the way, the Kings against the Kings in game 7 of the first round 2 seasons ago. And he dropped that 50 piece in that game. That was magic. So, I mean, I'm not fading Steph. I'll tell you that. In fact, I think it might just be worth it to just take 30 plus for our boy and just say, look, he's either going to win them this game or he's going to die trying while he's shooting 1,000,000 threes. So I think you still got some value to just take 30 plus on the fucking legend that Steph Curry is. So, all right. Appreciate y'all. Would appreciate, the likes. He's not wrong. King's asking for him. I appreciate that. So before y'all dip out, if you could do that, I'm going to get an episode up for tomorrow for the Celtics and the Knicks. Oh, God, I don't think that we have a chance in that one. Be honest with y'all. I don't know what would need to happen for the Knicks to win that series. Probably nothing good, though. It would probably just be bad things happening to Celtics players because I don't think the Knicks have a shot in that one. Please let me know if I'm crazy, but I do not think the Knicks have a shot in that. And I can't. I don't know if I'm gonna be betting on this. Free sauce, like tell me where we're at, but I don't even know if I can bet on that Knicks series because of my I'm in it emotionally, so I can't get with it. But appreciate y'all. This is a really good one, man. You guys came in and brought it, so I'm glad we got there with it. Hopefully, you guys check out the beginning of the episode because that has a lot of shit to do with matchups. I went into the box scores to look at past games and who was guarding who, and I think that's going to be some helpful stuff for you guys trying to make your bets as well. So check that out. Hopefully, you got something out of this. Give that video a like on your way out, and until I see y'all next, happy betting.